There's so many different variations of V-ups, and frankly, even as a fitness trainer, I can't do them all. So I'll show you what a couple different variations look like. Find the one that works best for you. A full V-up is also sometimes called teaser in Pilates. There's slight variations, but generally the hardest variation is called a V-up or teaser in Pilates. This is when you're lifting your torso to meet your straight legs. But you can also lift your torso to bent knees in what I like to call a bent leg V-up. You can keep your torso on the ground and just lower it and lift your legs and arms in a jackknife. Or you can perform a suitcase crunch where your torso stays stable, your head is lifted, and you're bending the knees in towards the hands. Generally, the two things you need to know: if the legs are straight and if your torso is lifting off the ground, those are going to be the hardest variations. Keeping your knees bent and keeping the torso on the ground are going to make the exercise easier. Again, find what works best for you, but generally my tips and cues for good form are going to apply for all of them. You want to exhale as you're lifting yourself up. So exhale during that hardest part of the movement. Inhale, release back down. Exhale, drive the knees into the chest or lift the legs straight, whichever variation you're doing. Lower yourself back down. If you're struggling with these exercises, connecting with your breath is one of the best things you can do. Think about sharp exhales during the hardest part of the movement, and then make sure you get a good deep inhale as you lower back down to the ground. You also want to minimize the use of momentum. While you might feel great that you can do all of these reps, utilizing momentum is not going to strengthen your core. So it's better to be slow and controlled and take your time moving through the movement than utilizing momentum to jam yourself up and down. It's also important to know that there's good work to be had in the lowering and lifting phase of the exercise. So once you get to the top of the exercise, don't just release all the way back down and then swing yourself back up. Take your time getting yourself to the top and then slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Of course, you're going to have to utilize some momentum to keep yourself in the rhythm, but generally you should be feeling your core having to activate into fatigue to continue the movement.